After a staggering 3 years on the ground, Lufthansa has finally returned its Airbus A380 to service. The return comes following multiple changes in decision-making that initially saw the plane grounded, then retired for good, and now returning in some capacity to the German flag carrier's operations. D-AIMK operated the first flight carrying passengers in over 3 years, originating from Munich and heading towards Boston Logan as Flight LH424. Costs to operate the aircraft, paired with the rising implications at the time of the global pandemic and travel demand essentially dropping to zero, meant the airline had to ground the Airbus A380. They weren't alone, there were many airlines that followed a similar process. However, eventually, the airline, according to some, was forced to reverse the decision, as rising demand and a lack of available aircraft being delivered from manufacturers on time meant they were struggling to meet that rising demand. That, let's be honest, came back a lot quicker than many of us initially expected. The Airbus A380s will call Munich home, as Lufthansa re-adds A380s to commercial flying in the next few months. By the end of the 2023 calendar year, Los Angeles, Bangkok, New York, JFK, and of course Boston will see frequent flights with the Lufthansa A380. Other airlines, such as Qantas and Etihad Airways, are also preparing more A380s to return to service as they also see demand grow and are simply struggling to keep up. These high-capacity aircraft are beneficial in that regard, being able to carry so much more than existing aircraft in their fleets. Interestingly though, a decision from the airline to return the A380 to service can be labelled by some as not really the optimal choice. While they're excited to resume flying from a PR standpoint, and there are definitely positive comments coming from the customers who love the A380, it's a decision that has largely stemmed from the continued difficulties that Lufthansa faces with the arrival of new planes. Those planes from both Airbus and Boeing are not strictly one or the other. Lufthansa has, as you may be aware, had to continue wet leasing aircraft into its fleet. As this is far from ideal, the wet leasing is the only way they can really react to the immediate capacity constraints they're facing. For example, its Boeing 777X, slated to be a very important part of their long-haul network, was meant to first be delivered in 2020. Now, at the earliest, this is taking place in 2025. The addition of the A380 back to their operations for a short period of time until more fuel-efficient jets can come back into their operations signals just what the state of aircraft deliveries and also acquisitions truly are. While I made mention of the 777X's delays, the reality is many aircraft programs, even some 18 years back, saw their own delays. The main problem right now is there are so many other factors, such as rising demands, a global pandemic, that are all coming into the equation, meaning it is the worst possible time for these delays to be incurred. As in terms of coverage, airlines like Lufthansa are having to go for less fuel-efficient aircraft that maybe in another world they would have ideally already retired. What are your thoughts on Lufthansa bringing back the Airbus A380? For us aviation enthusiasts, it's no doubt fantastic. The more quad-engine jets flying, the better, even if they are truly in their twilight era. Thank you very much for watching, take care and be safe, stay tuned, there'll be a second video coming to your screens today, and I'll see you then. And we'll fly.